What is up, Cat Skull fans? Today I got a real one for you. We're gonna go through some obscure and random things in my retro collection. First up, the Game Gear. And because I'm not rich, I got a bunch of adapters and I've got this little power adapter. So let's figure out if I can turn this on. Come on, baby. Oh, okay, let's go with that one. Okay, 9 volts. So I got this little USB-C PD board. It'll just take a USB-C input. Let's see, 20 volts? No. I'm like blind apparently. That's 9 volts. So if I plug this here, this either will explode or it will work. Is it on? I can't see anything. Oh, there's the contrast wheel. Alright, I do have Ninja Gaiden. It's working. Oh, heck yeah. Oh, there we go. I honestly can't see what I'm doing. I'm just holding it so the camera can. I mean, to be honest with you, it plays pretty good. I mean, I'd play this. Let's turn it down. I mean, the Game Gear is cool because it's basically just a Master System, portable. It's got a compact fluorescent backlight, terrible. Got the freaking 6 AA's. I have both battery covers. Look at that. Get it back on now. At one point I had a TV tuner as well, but that's long gone. That's my Game Gear. Just kind of random Sega items, Sega Genesis items. First up is Super Street Fighter 2. This is just Street Fighter 2. You can see it's void. This is, to my knowledge, the largest official production Sega Genesis cartridge. It's 4 megabytes and it has to have a mapper. It's one of the only Genesis games that I think uses that. It's called the Super Street Fighter 2 mapper. So for emulation purposes, this is kind of a bizarre, or maybe harder to emulate sometimes. But anyways, I own a copy of it because I think it's cool. Here's a copy of YM 2017 second edition reprinting. This is a Sega Genesis album on cartridge that I put together a couple years ago. And as part of that, Bitmap Bureau made this game Xenocrisis, which they sent me a copy of. They're very cool guys. They ported this to like about every system possible. And the soundtrack, Savage Regime, which he did a track on YM 2017. So the soundtrack for this alone is incredible. So shout out to Bitmap Bureau and Xenocrisis for sending me a copy of their game. I wanted to take a minute to show off my DualShock 3 because I think it's cool. And I still actively use this when I'm playing PS1, PS2, and PS3 emulation on my Mac. I have a Mayflash NS2, which supports the DualShock 3, so I can use this on any system that I want, but I use it on my Mac when I'm gaming. Big fan. Okay, next I want to show a couple DS items. I actually already did a video on my channel about my DS collection. I love the Nintendo DS. I love the 3DS. I legitimately think that Nintendo should just keep making DS Lites and 3DSs. I think people would buy them. But this DS Lite, I've been playing this a lot. This is just a cheap one I got back in the day off Facebook. You know, I bought it from some kid and it came with a copy of Ben 10 and Phineas and Ferb. But I've been playing a lot of Rhythm Haven on the DS Lite. I love this game. It is so fun. But I also wanted to just brag and show off my copies of Retro Game Challenge. I've actually got 2 because I'm a baller. If you don't know about Retro Game Challenge, let me show you. Really cool. A lot of there's shooters, platformers, racing games, and there's even an RPG. So I like Cosmic Gate. So this game it's based on a Japanese TV show called Game Center GX. It's kind of like an angry video game nerd type game or show. They localized it, released it in the US, and the publisher said it just did not sell well at all. It's just too bad because this is probably my favorite DS game of all time. And back in the day, when GameStop, you know, we're talking like 2014, 2015 era, GameStop was basically trying to get rid of all their DS stuff. So anytime I went to a different area, I would just hop on their website and see if they had any copies of Retro Game Challenge in stock. And if so, well, there's a couple other DS games that I would collect too, like Contact and other good ones. I picked up so many, and they were like $10. I don't know. I don't even want to look at the price charting for this game now, but I know it's a lot more than $10, which is too bad because it's incredible. It's really, really fun. And the way that they structure the challenges just makes it really accessible. If you're into the Wario game, oh man, if you're into the Wario game, kind of retro game challenge kind of thing, this is incredible. Sorry, what did I say? WarioWare mini games, Anyways, that's Retro Game Challenge. And then you may not know that there was a sequel to Retro Game Challenge that was not released in the US. And a few years ago, Tiny Cartridge, shout out Tiny Cartridge, old kind of DS Nintendo gaming handheld blog. I don't know if they're still around, but they commissioned, some fan art. There's a fan translation of the game now. So I went off and printed that, and I just keep my R4 in here, but Retro Game Challenge and Retro Game Challenge 2 both are incredible games, as is Rhythm Haven. I love my DS Lite. PSP time, and I believe that this adapter will work. 5 volts. Yeah, these unfortunately are aftermarket shells. I did a shell swap on these, and I actually removed the UMD because I thought I was cool. I did this probably 10 or 15 years ago at this point, and you can see these shells are just crap. They're really busted up. They're barely even holding together. I think maybe this one is doing a little bit better, but yeah, absolutely just not up to quality standard. Nevertheless, let's see. Oh man, it's actually going to stay. Let's try this one. Does it not even boot without the battery? Anyways, 2 PSPs, very cool. I love the PSP. Such an epic emulation handheld. That whole scene back in the day, it was incredible. The homebrew scene, so many cool apps. It really felt like, the PSP came out before the iPhone, and it really felt like an internet communications device. Like you could browse the web, you could listen to music and movies easily. PSP way ahead of its time. I love the PSP. Okay, just a couple of NES and Famicom items that I think are cool. The first is the Dawn Metropolis album by Anna Monoguchi. Very cool. Homebrew cartridge. Shout out Anna Monoguchi. And the second is a copy of Princess Tomato and the Salad Kingdom for the Famicom, which I did a English ROM hack, EEPROM replacement with. It was kind of just back in the day. I actually wrote about this on my blog. It was in 2015. And I just kind of wanted to learn how to burn EEPROMs and do Famicom shell swaps. So I learned how to do it. And somewhere around here, I have a copy of Lagrange Point, but I don't know where it is. Now, the Game Boys. This is by far the biggest part of my collection because I love the Game Boy the most out of anything. So here's a few of my Game Boys, some of my favorite ones. I guess I like black. Here is a Game Boy Color oh man, that screen looks terrible. I think that maybe one of my kids did something to the screen and damaged it. Or maybe it's just coming unlaminated, but it's like cloudy. It looks good, but it's cloudy. So I did this a couple years ago. I can't remember which kit this is exactly and shell and everything, but for what it is, it's pretty good, but unfortunately, the screen is messed up. I did not know that it was like that. Next up, we've got a Game Boy Advance. Now, this is back in the day. Back in the day, before funny playing and all this modern cool stuff, if you wanted to backlight a GBA like this, back in the day, if you wanted to backlight a GBA, you had to get a display out of an AGS 101 SP, which is what this is. So I did that on this. You had to email this guy in China or Taiwan, I can't remember, and he had like a Yahoo email address, and he would sell you an adapter ribbon. It's kind of hard to tell, but I was never fully satisfied with this because there are horizontal lines that go through it. You can maybe make out some of that, and it's something, there's a pot that you can twist around in there to optimize it. I was never able to get it to my liking. So unfortunately, I never really played on this much, but maybe it'll live to see another day. But AGS 101 GBA Advance with a glass screen protector. Now, similar vein, here is a GBA ASP unhinged from Boxy Pixel. Oh, it's not going to power up. Can I charge it? Does this freaking charger work? Do I have to have like a special thing? Is it like not C2C? Anyways, this is a GBA ASP unhinged and it's okay. It's heavy and I mean, it works fairly well. The problem was I never got the LNR working right and I just think it's kind of flawed as a product in that way. It was really expensive and it's a really cool concept. It looks great, but it's just not quite what I wanted it to be. So I have the GBA Micro. I love this thing. This is probably my favorite Game Boy Advance. I got this at a pawn shop in about 2012 or $20. It was all scratched up and I just replaced the faceplate on it. I've actually been playing this thing a lot. It's so lightweight and small. Like, you can tuck this in your pocket easily. I mean, it weighs way less than my phone and it's way smaller. And you can honestly kind of bust this thing out like in public. And like, here's the thing, like playing Game Boys in public is actually cool now because the lame thing to do in public is to like look at TikTok or Instagram, like social media. Don't look at social media in public. Play Game Boys in public. It's very intriguing and unique. I went to Zion National Park recently and I brought my Game Boy Micro to play in line because it's that small. You can put it in your pocket. And, you know, people are looking, commenting, what does he have? What is that? What is he doing? That's a Game Boy Micro. So cool. I love the Game Boy Micro, man. And I've been playing Mega Man Battle Network 3, but I'm kind of done with it. So that leaves us with the hard-off Game Boy. I love this Game Boy. This is my holy grail. This is a custom job that I put together with retromodding.com. I just wanted a Game Boy that was hard-off themed because I love hard-off so much. And I've actually got an EverDrive in here right now, but this is just one of their aftermarket blue shells that they custom printed some text on for me. So big fan of the hard off Game Boy. I keep this up on my shelf, and the plan hopefully someday is to return to Japan and either smuggle this into a hard off and leave it there or buy it from a hard off. So like take it in and like negotiate with them to just buy it. I don't know why. I just think it'd be cool to sneak it into Japan and then buy it. I don't know why, but I just kind of want to see what the employees would think about it. But anyways, they probably wouldn't give a crap. Okay, here is the Game Boy Gauntlet. So I love the Game Boy and I love weird, obscure Game Boy things. Like, I don't like the expensive Game Boy games. I'm not really interested in collecting all the Pokemons or whatever. I like the Game Boy from a technical perspective. I research, Game Boy technical hardware and the cartridges and how they all work. That is my primary motivation for collecting. I've always been drawn to the obscure, the odd, and the unique. So let's just kind of dive through this. First up, we have this Altane cart flasher from ASM Electronics. This is a really cool project. Unfortunately, it kind of, fell a little bit flat. It's just so high quality as a flasher and the design they did. I'd really love to see some more out of this. I think that we could probably get some better firmware and update it. Maybe that's already happened. Since I started with that, let's just go through my ASM Electronics collection here. I've got a couple of this is just an MBC5 flash cart that ASM made. You can see they even have their own custom battery cover stamped. Oh, it's LCJ. Probably trying to sound like Starscream. CCG, CCG, C, A sharp, F, G. What do you think? Where are the speakers? That's cool. So my ASM MBC5 flash cart with LSCJ on it apparently. Next we have the Flappy Bird from ASM Gaming or Games. Let's try this out. I'm not a big Flappy Bird fan. It's very well done. Oh my gosh. We got 6. We got the 2016 Xmas cart, Christmas cart from ASM Retro. That's so cool. Heebie-jeebies with the cool custom orange holder. So this says 2019 on it. It's kind of a similar concept, but this one is for Halloween. The analog is like broken now. That's really strange it didn't work on the analog. Next up, I actually have a couple videos about this already on my channel. This is the Limited Run Games Empire Strikes Back copy. This was just cool back in the day to see, you know, somebody else doing Game Boy games, and I mean, for what it's worth, it's nothing great or special. This is a GB Smart 32 cart. So this is a very old and antiquated flash cart from, I don't even know. This would probably be like 2004 era maybe. Just a super basic flash cart, Chinese flash cart. I don't even know if I want to try to boot this up. Oh, it's MGB. Cool. Next, I've got a copy of Pokemon Crystal. I know that I said I don't like collecting Pokemon games, and I don't, but I've got a copy here, and it's mint. It's for me. Now, you might say to yourself, why do you have a copy of Mary-Kate and Ashley Pocket Planner? It's because this is actually a custom cart flasher that I designed with my friend Boxing Hour. I had an application written in Web USB, Web Serial, that was doing basic reading and writing, you know, dumping operations on a cartridge. And I was just using Mary-Kate and Ashley Pocket Planner as a, I don't know why. So I've just always had this in here, and maybe someday I'll come back and, you know, it's just an Arduino, so I could flash new code on here or whatever, but I think there's quite a few good, cheap cart flashers, but this was my attempt to make a good open source cart flasher. It never really saw a whole lot of light. Mission Impossible. Do you know about Mission Impossible? Mission Impossible, I don't know anything about the game or the movie or anything. I don't even know if this is like officially licensed or not. But it has one weird feature. Yada yada yada. Oh my gosh. Yeah, check this out. So you can play the game, or you can do the Agent Organizer. And the Agent Organizer, you actually can you can actually use your Game Boy Color as a remote control for your TV. So you go learn signals, and then you'll point your remote at it, and then you hit send, and you hit the button that you want that map to, and then you can send that signal, and it works. I've done this. It won't work on the analog Pocket because it doesn't have an IR blaster, but yeah, I think that is really cool. A couple more here, official Nintendo products that I just find fascinating. This is a pink copy of a Tamagotchi game for the Game Boy. There's nothing that notable about this other than, and actually, they released this exact same game in white, and is very common. You can see I picked up this copy of it for 30 yen, which looks like it no longer has a circuit board in, which is okay because I have this copy that I also picked up for 30 yen. This one, maybe it's a little bit better condition, was 100 yen. So that at the time was about $1. I don't know what it's at now, but you can see they're the exact same game, but this one's pink. The reason why this one's pink is it actually came with a limited edition pink Game Boy Pocket, which they were bundled together. So when this popped up on eBay a couple years ago, I just had to pick up the pink Game Boy Tamagotchi game. I just think it's so cool. Here is a official Nintendo Power flash card. That's what they were called, GB Power or Nintendo Power flash cards. What you can do with this is take it into a convenience store in Japan and pay to download a couple of games on it. I think it's been reverse engineered, and as a flash card, it's not all that too compelling, but I just thought it was very cool. It came out in, it was a white color. Very cool. Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge for the Game Boy is a very fun game, and my friend sent me this back in the day. He picked it up, I guess, secondhand. And I actually beat this game. I did end up, I think I cheated. Dracula is like almost impossible, but I did get through the rest of it. It has a very good soundtrack. Oh, frick. Like Konami's really killing it on the Game Boy, I feel like. Unhand me, fiend! Ah! Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge is extremely fun. Very, very big fan of this game. Hamtaro, I don't know what this is, and I don't know why I pulled it out. It's in good condition. Should we play it? I don't read Japanese, dude. Oh, it's like a virtual pet game? Pokemon trading card game with their label ripped off. I did not do that. It's not my fault. I'm not even gonna test it out. Okay, we've got the Dragon Derp, dude. If you know what the Dragon Derp is, you know. But basically, this came out a long time ago. Over a decade ago, and this was like the first Game Boy cartridge that had like native USB. It just shows up as like a flash drive. So flashing this was like, it was a huge leap forward. I did cheat on Castlevania because this Dragon Derp has Konami GB Collection Volume 4, which only came out in Japan. Editor Dave here released in Japan and Europe, but it was under different names. Anyways. You can see it has Belmont's Revenge on it, so it's actually fully colorized, but they switched one of the sub-weapons around. I can't remember, but so this is kind of the definitive version, but also not. And I know that I probably cheated because if I had this on well, I don't know if I cheated or not. I probably cheated. I probably used save states. So the Dragon Derp, pretty cool cartridge for the original Game Boy. Now I've got a couple of these weird ones. And again, I said I like to collect games that are kind of bizarre. Let's go with this one first. I paid 30 yen for this. This is probably the most unique Game Boy cartridge I've ever seen. I could pull out this tab, but I don't really want to break that label. Oh, there's a switch on it that says sound on or off. This is a Bandai game. It says Bandai 1997 Nintendo Game Boy. So this is very strange. I don't actually know what this is. What the heck? It's a Tamagotchi game? This is that same... If this is like a real Tamagotchi, what does he want? Oh, he wants music. He wants to go outside? Oh no, what have I done? Uh-oh. So anyways, that's this bizarre Tamagotchi game. Now I've got 3 here. These are pretty cool. And one of them is special. Robopon Sun and Star version. So this one is Sun, and I believe in the US they only release Sun, but this is a custom Hudson Soft game. I guess we can try any of these. And it's also got its own battery cover, and if you look at the top, it's actually an IR blaster. This has a, among everything else, this has a built-in IR blaster, so this came out before. Even though it supports the Game Boy Color, it works in a DMG because it's got that cutout. GB Kiss. So that's Robopon. I've got 3 copies of that. Sun and Star version, as well as the English release. I actually don't know what this is. So I have here an assortment of Super Famicom games, and at first glance you might think these are all strange Japanese Super Game Boys because they look like a Super Game Boy, except these slots are not Game Boy cartridge. Here's a Game Boy game. It does not fit in there. RPG Maker is a quote-unquote game for various systems wherein you can program your own custom RPGs. So they released it a couple of times for the Super Famicom. This is, I think, the first, or maybe, I don't know. This is one of the releases. This is another release. And I have a friend who lives in Japan, and what he does is they go around and they buy every used copy of RPG Maker they can, and then they'll get together and they play them, and they just see what maps and RPGs people have created and left on their cartridges. So that's the premise here. Now, with respect to this strange cartridge slot, okay, now, so this is RPG Maker. I don't know what this is, and I don't know what this is. This is a sound novel. I don't know what that means, and I don't know what this is. This, on the other hand, this is a BSX cart. This was the cartridge for the... I believe that this was required for the Satellaview, and this might be the rarest item in my collection. This is an official Nintendo product that you've probably never seen before. This is a special memory card for these Super Game Boy-esque cartridges, and I don't know the exact functionality for the BSX. I know that you would store data. You know, so for RPG Maker, I'm not sure if you can store maps on this or how you were supposed to exchange data between these games. My friend who gave me this, this is a gift. I think maybe some of these copies I picked up on my own while I was there. But he certainly gave me I think he gave me all of these actually. He gave me all of these just because I was so fascinated. And he helped me understand the memory card more. Unfortunately, I don't think it's very actually useful. I don't know that it was like, in practical terms, I don't know that there was much to actually do with it. But very, very rare from what I have seen. Yeah, this is not like, this memory card in particular is not something that pops up for sale very often. It is likely the rarest thing in my collection. This was a gift. I did not buy this. I have no intention of ever selling this. I intend to keep it forever. One of the most special and prized things that I own. Obscure, random Super Famicom accessory with an even more obscure accessory for it. That's why I made this video. Thanks for watching.